So today I'm building the plate that'll insert in this section. It'll be removable, so it won't get in the way of trying to haul this. If I find out that I can physically mount it and make it permanent, I will. But for right now, it's just going to take up the space that my arm won't be interfered too badly. And I'm testing out a lapel mic I just got, so we'll see how that goes. So what I'm doing here is setting up some buckles. So you can see these have a square head on them. So I heated up these blocks, sink these deep, glue these pads to this, use my soldering iron to melt holes, and then these whole plates with these attached will come out on these spots, and they'll hang down, and I'll attach my mechanic machinery parts to in here, so if they do need to move out of my way for my elbow, they will be able to move out of my way for my elbow. These are the kind of details that I'm working through with you. If they fail, they fail, and I'll try again. There's my flower pot, Tim. Yeah. But so I gotta hide a bunch of me still. So I think these plates, and then I'll go back through and finish plating up this such. But as right now, I'm trying to get the overall pieces all in place before I keep detailing, because that needs to happen. But I'm really liking how these lines all are working out. And I decided I am going to keep this a grill and add some more details to it and light it instead of that vacuum plate, because I really like the look of that. It's a obvious looking radiator heat sink part that's easily identifiable, where the vacuum cleaner piece looks nice, but it's just indiscriminate machinery. So I hung my straps. And then I'm positioning this piece. And my plan is to work off of this piece with these positions in place. So then this whole shell will have 3 tabs that I'll be able to take off whatever this section is, and it'll go up and wrap up into here. Like, it'll be taller, and then this will be filled. So when you do look up, it'll be solid, but this piece will also have some motion, and once it gets more components, it won't flop as much. But if I need to move my arm and it's in my way, it can just slide out the way, then drop back into position.
Survived with one of the crew members. And they're alive, they're frozen. Old school cryopods.
How can we get them back to our ship? I need to go back to our ship. Where is our ship?
I didn't mark it, sir.
Are these humans a part of us? Could not. We need food.
I don't think we should eat the crew.
I'm just throwing out an idea. I'm just engineering. Okay.
Alright, so I got all my parts set into this shape. I need to attach my straps so everything can be the way it needs to be. So this is one of those times that this whole thing is solid and very rugged at a certain point, and then after a certain point it is, or until that point, it is very fragile. So I'm just gonna set these far ends in first, so I'll know basically it'll be in the right spot for when I tie in these top ones. Once these are all actually nice and set, like especially like this one, I know this is going to be in the right spot. This one has a little slope, so I could pull that wrong, but if I kind of keep in mind how it's sitting, I should be able to get them all in without messing up the angles. And then once all these are in and set, I will have no problem going through and like adding extra of the plates. It'll have a little bit more resiliency. And then I'll be able to add well, then I'll start being able to add the rest of the plates that I want, and then I'll be able to start getting the details on it. Like already that thing is considerably more resilient. I gotta go ahead and think about the next section, which I'm normally about one step ahead, if that. If I'm lucky, I'm one step ahead. Usually I'm on the step I'm actually working on and stuck somewhere. I got the piece done. I installed it, and you can barely even see it. Just kind of perfect. It's not supposed to stand out. This is supposed to just make it so you don't see me inside this thing. But doesn't look any different. But this whole piece is that blank. Yeah, little rivets. So many little rivets. So that's that small piece. I'm really happy. I'm actually gonna, I think I'm gonna paint it because why not? You can do an actual pass on it to see like detailing and do some weathering tests. I'm going to try to test paint jobs before I do it on the main thing. I normally don't. I have a video. I tried to make a footage of me doing. I repainted one of those 12-foot skeletons. It was supposed to be the first episodes I released. I'm still going to release them at some point, probably around Halloween. But I hadn't really ran my airbrush in a very long time. I had never tried painting a skeleton. So instead of, starting on a leg bone or a foot,
I started on the skull, the hardest, most important piece of the entire build. And it turned out I was kind of kicking myself that I didn't use my airbrush more often.
So that I'm real happy with. That primer, so you can even see where I just went through with my little sander, like a little detail sander, and just hit edges and maybe a little bit of beveling, rounding off the tips. But basically today I am just gonna mess around and just paint, base coat white, just for funsies mainly. I don't really feel like resetting everything in the studio for airbrush yet, so primer, brushes. Let's get to it. So I'm just using our cabinet primer. It's a high strength primer for cabinetry. And just getting kind of set in there, just having that little bit painted made me pretty happy. I don't think I'm going to add any lights to that particular piece. I did a little bit more of the back edge work on that section of the torso as well. I think it's turning out pretty good. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Next episode will be out next week. Remember to like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. All those things really help. Comment. I've gotten back to every comment I've had so far. So, yeah, see y'all in the next one.